It was a dark and stormy night, the wind howling through the trees as lightning illuminated the sky. In a small town, a young woman named Emily was preparing for Mother's Day. She had lost her mother several years ago, but still felt the need to honor her memory. Emily had always been close to her mother, who was kind, loving, and always there for her. She decided to visit her mother's grave, bringing flowers and a heartfelt letter. As she walked through the cemetery, the atmosphere grew eerier with each step. Unbeknownst to Emily, a group of witches had gathered at a nearby abandoned house. They were known to perform dark rituals on special occasions, and Mother's Day was no exception. Their intentions were sinister, seeking to summon the spirits of deceased mothers and use their powers for their own gain. As Emily reached her mother's grave, she felt a chill run down her spine. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying a haunting melody. Suddenly, the ground beneath her began to tremble, and a pale figure emerged from the grave. It was her mother, but something was terribly wrong. Her once warm and loving eyes were now cold and empty. Emily's heart raced as she realized her mother had been brought back by the witch's dark magic. Her mother's voice echoed through the cemetery, but it was not the voice Emily remembered. It was a twisted, distorted version filled with malice and hunger. The witches had succeeded in summoning the spirits, but they had no control over them. Emily ran, her heart pounding in her chest, but her mother's spirit followed closely behind. The once familiar face was now contorted with rage, longing to claim Emily's life. She could hear the whispers of the witches, their chants growing louder as they tried to regain control. Desperate, Emily sought refuge in the old abandoned house, hoping to find a way to break the curse. The house was filled with ancient relics and symbols of dark magic. As she searched, she stumbled upon a book, its pages filled with spells and incantations. With trembling hands, Emily recited a counterspell, hoping it would banish the evil spirit that had possessed her mother. The air grew heavy, and a blinding light engulfed the room. When Emily opened her eyes, her mother's spirit was gone. Exhausted and relieved, Emily made her way back to her mother's grave. She placed the flowers and the letter, knowing that her mother's spirit was finally at peace. As she turned to leave, she felt a gentle breeze brush against her cheek, as if her mother's spirit was saying goodbye. Mother's Day would never be the same for Emily, but she knew that her mother's love would always be with her. She vowed to honor her memory by being the kind of mother her own mother had been to her, loving, caring, and always there. And so, as the storm subsided and the night grew calm, Emily walked away from the cemetery, carrying her mother's spirit in her heart.